Hey, friend, and welcome again to this podcast, Life is a Blessing. I am so happy to find you again today for a new episode of sharing stories of miracles and beauty. And I am even more thrilled because, since we started this journey together, I've been sharing with you some of my stories, my miracles, things happening in my life that I find so inspiring and so beautiful and blessed. But today there is something special that I prepared for you and a surprise that I brought actually. I asked a dear friend of mine here in Bali to come and join me to share with you her story because she has been living incredible shifts lately, incredible transformation, and receiving all kinds of abundance. And I'm so happy to leave the mic today to her so she can share her own blessing and how she finds this life being such a blessing too. So I'm super happy to introduce you to my dear friend, this incredible woman named Mel. And I'm very happy to have you here, Mel. Please, you have the mic.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. I feel super honored to sit here with you in this beautiful island talking about life, and not just talking about life, but how miraculous life can be. And having the opportunity to just share my story to maybe inspire other people, because what I feel is, we're all so unique and our path is so individual, but somehow we all go through the same things. And we are on this journey called life all together. So I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's so true. Everything you just said. Wow. And we can really see it so close here in Bali. All of us sisters living together in the community, we really go through the same kind of process and upgrades, and it's very beautiful to be able to share that with each other. So thank you so much. I'm very happy that you can share these amazing stories that you have experienced, and I'm so sure that it will inspire so many people. I think to start, I have a first question for you, because I know what happened in your life lately and the greatest transformation that happened. So to start this journey, I want to ask you, how do you feel now and why?
I feel blessed. I'm just super grateful, and I can feel that my heart is completely open, and that feels just so beautiful. It really touches me so much, because I feel like I'm so present in the moment right now, and I'm enjoying this life here in Bali and all that is happening, all that is there. Like, I see the plants, see the sunshine, I hear the birds, and then I just like watched the ocean just before we came here. And like, I'm so grateful to be alive. Like, this life is such a gift, and we have all the possibilities to experience it in a way that we want to experience. And I'm just so grateful for making all these decisions to be able to actually experience that. And I'm just super blessed.
Wow, this is amazing to feel this way. When you share it, I can really to tap in with you and feel it with you. It's beautiful. How is that any different from how you were feeling, for example, a few weeks ago?
Well, life is always like an up and down, right? It's never going linear. But what has changed in the past weeks and month in my life is just like, for me and my mind, not really to grasp. It's, I experienced miracles before, and I know life can be like super magical, and things are happening that you could never imagine happening and stuff like this. But lately I have experienced like so much of that I just can't explain how that happened. And couple of months ago, like maybe 3 months ago, I was in a very dark place. Bali is such an incredible and special island where most of the people come for healing and to find themselves or get more connected to themselves. And I think this is also the thing that brought me here, even if there was no intention to come here for healing. But being here in almost 2 years now, I experienced so much healing, and I've been going through 2 rock bottoms actually. The first one was, in the beginning when I came here, and then the second one was just a couple of months ago, where pretty much my whole life fell apart. Everything that I created was just like gone. In my business, in my close relationships, in everything. And I had no idea what is going to happen. There was just like the unknown, and I could only surrender to what was. I knew what I wanted, and I knew what I didn't want. But the place where I was so dark actually, that there was like, for my mind or whatever, like no hope, no nothing, no light. I couldn't see like the end, or that in the end everything will turn out, even if there was a knowing within me, like of course everything will turn out good in the end and everything happens for me. This is an attitude that I'm carrying. But at that time I couldn't really feel it, because everything in my outer world didn't show me. And we're human, we're so attached to our senses, like we just believe the things that we see, that we hear, that we smell, that we taste, and whatever. But what is actually around us is not easy to grasp. And I had no other choice than to create my life from zero. And I was like tuning in. I was in a very beautiful city, small town called Amit. For the guys who might have been there, it's super, such a beautiful, cozy village where it's super quiet, and I had the chance to just like connect with myself and drop deep, like really, really deep. Not just like for a weekend or like a week or something, but for 2 months, because I wanted to get sure that what I will create from now on is in total alignment with my truth. And that took me 2 months, and that was okay. And I feel like in a world where we have like so many distractions and so many people that of course also inspire us and live the life that we might want to live as well, we kind of like tend to lose ourselves in story of other people. And it's for me always about going my way. And I don't find the answers in the outer world, never. Not in a mentor, not in a book, not in a podcast, nowhere but within my heart. And that was a beautiful time, even if it was painful. But I could really claim my desires from that time on, because what I knew was, okay, I'm done with experiencing rock bottoms. I experienced a lot of rock bottoms in my life, because life tend to be not easy for me, because of my conditioning and how I experienced life in my early childhood was it had an impact on me. I saw that with my parents, with my family, and general life, that life is supposed to be hard. That was my belief system. And of course, this was always what I created for my life, in what kind of way ever. Even like I was like burning out in my job, my business, working just 24/7, so that life feels hard to me, or in my relationships I was struggling, so that life feels hard to me, and then money struggles, so that life feels hard to me, whatever it is. And I knew I don't want that anymore. I want life to be easy. And I feel like this is a very big key to live a blissful life, to allow yourself to live a life that is easy, because everything is a choice. And sometimes it's hard to choose, because there are some wounds, there are some mechanisms within us that wants to protect us and keep us in our comfort zone, which feels safe, even if it's maybe not our best life, but it just feels familiar to us. But choosing to have an easy life made a huge difference, so that I can now experience this bliss. And also deciding to not settling anymore, and just like hold this standard, because I deserve it. Everyone deserves it. Everyone deserves the fucking best life they can imagine, and even more.
Wow. This is a very deep journey that you were on, and I can't imagine this time you spent in Ahmed, 2 months in such depth of yourself, like going all the way deep, and finding all these answers, where you could see how you were indeed creating this hard reality, this suffering, this pain of living your life, and then becoming the sovereign of your world again by choosing to do it different, choosing the easy way, because indeed we can create anything, just like you said. So we can create this easy life. We can choose to have it easy. So wow, it's very inspiring. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, what exactly happened actually after Ahmed, and after you made those decisions? Like what happened for you?
Well, there was a point where I felt like, okay, it's time to end my solitude phase. And then I was like slowly getting back into like social life and stuff. I went back to Ubud, which is also one of my favorite places in Bali, because it's so magical, and started to connect again with people and go dancing, and just participating on life, because I had my vision. I knew that I was creating something that I really, really want, and I was also like very focused on building and growing my business again in a way that feels aligned to me. And so it's just like walking the path, and taking actions on according to my vision. And yeah, and then at some point, the thing is, when we have a vision and we truly know what we want, this is amazing, because then we know where to go, we know what to do, and we can just like break it down to action steps, and just like bring what we see in our head into reality and manifest it. But at the same time, when you want something and there is something within you that still blocks you, it's like a limiting belief or a wound or whatever, like a trauma that is still in your body, stored in your body, then you have to, of course, do the inner work and overcome that, transmute that, to be able to manifest it and just, make it become your reality. And so in that time, there was like a lot of shit coming up, as everyone knows who have ever experienced Ubud,
Of course.
as the place
Vortex.
of deep shadow work.
Yeah.
So but I mean, I was committed. I was like, well, if it's that what it takes, I'm just gonna fucking do it. Like, I have no choice. Like, I'm not gonna. There's no way back. So I'm just gonna through that. And and then I had like super profound shifts within me. Like working on those core beliefs that we all have, like not deserving to be fully happy, because there are so many people suffering in the world, or we see people in our family suffering, and who am I to become like the most happiest person on earth? or oh my god, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, like all these core things that we all carry within us. I had to have a look on that and then change that. And by changing, I mean, of course, seeing how that is related to my past and how I developed those beliefs within me, and feeling all the feelings that has been stored in my body, like all the negative emotions, to just like let it flow through me, but also just dropping the fucking old story, because it is not me anymore. I choose to become a new version of myself that truly believes that I am enough and what I do is enough, and that I am so lovable and adorable, just the way I am, with all that I am, with all the light and with all the shadow and whatever, because nobody is perfect. And I've been working on these things like for a while. Like I've been on my healing path for a couple of years, but I feel like I could never drop that deeply into that before, probably because I didn't decide to, because everything is a decision. So yeah, that shifted a lot. And then everything just happened immediately in a second, like I could experience and see that I do deserve it all. And if we have time, maybe I can also share the story of how I manifested the house that I'm living in right now. But yeah, I attracted like so much abundance, so much love, so much freedom, so much ease, so much everything that I always wanted, and that I think all of us want in our life, because there is a natural pull towards it, as this is our natural state. And it's all about coming back to that, what we truly are.
Wow, that's very powerful. Yeah, I would love for you to share everything that happened from that point, because this is the transformation that you experienced lately, coming from this rock bottom and arriving to this blissful state that you described at the beginning, how you feel now. And yeah, I think everything you just shared is extremely inspiring, because well, also I will ask you a question, because I don't think you mentioned a lot of this when we talked about it together. And I remember, before your in between the move from Ubud to Uluwatu, because you moved from the vortex, Ubud, jungle, deep shadow work, where you have to look at it constantly, and like there is no way around it. And then you made the move to come to Uluwatu, which is the ocean side here in Bali. And it's known to be very light. Like as soon as you arrive, scooter drive to Uluwatu, you feel lighter and everything just feels easier somehow, very effortless. And when you did that move a few weeks back, you mentioned to me that, wow, it can be that easy. Like you mentioned that you didn't even have to do the deep work non-stop, constantly, for I don't know how long. Like it could be even easier, because we can just be this natural state that you mentioned, which is flow, abundance, ease, communion with life, where divine alignment is just there around the corner for every situation, whether it's a house, a job, an inspiration, food, whatever it is. But yeah, when you arrived, you were like, oh wow, we actually don't need to take the very long step of 15 years psychoanalysis or whatever. So do you want to talk about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that really goes along with this shifting to, oh, life is hard and life is supposed to be super suffering. And no, I can actually choose to have life be easy. And when I made that decision, everything in my outer world, like the universe, of course, is always supporting us in our journey. And what we're choosing, the universe is serving us. If we choose that life is hard, then the universe will, send us situations and people that just confirm our belief. And when I made the decision of life is being easy, I remember we were also like on the call, just like updating each other about life. And I was like, my fucking God, I really like, I need a shift. Like, I can't stay here anymore. And just, can I come and visit you? And you're like, yeah, of course, just come, please. And then I came back here. And for me, always like when I come to Uluwatu, it's just like pure light and openness. And, you know, like my heart was so deeply yearning for ease. And then it was an instant decision to move back to Uluwatu. And I was like, yes, I'm choosing ease. And of course, I'm taking fucking action according to my decision. And that means leaving the vortex and the dark side of the world and choosing to enter the light and allowing myself to experience this. And really, as you said, doing something different, because I tend to be one of these persons who are like, you know, digging really deep and, you know, looking on all these traumas and finding even more. And as we know, healing is a never ending story. You always can go deeper, and it's like shedding layers after layers and layers. And that is anyways happening because you are an ever expanding being. But we don't have to like force it to, become whole again, because we are whole. We were never broken. We were never broken, you know? And this also goes along with like those limiting beliefs of like, oh, I'm not good enough, so I need to heal more, I need to do more, I need to do whatever. But for me, everything, all these decisions go hand in hand with loving yourself and really, really accept who you are and allowing yourself to be. And yes, so I'm willing to do all these actions that are according to my vision. And even if it scares me, even if I don't know how it will turn out, you know, like I canceled my my house in Ubud, and I had to find a place in 2 days to come here because I was like so sure. It's like, oh my God, my heart is just like expanding and this is the right decision. I have no idea how it will work out, but I will leave the how to the universe. My job is only to know what I want. And then I trust in the universe to send me the how. And yes, and then I actually had a stay where it's like, you know, from a friend who just like moved into another house. And I was like, okay, cool. I have a place for the first night, and then I can, you know, like from that point, look for a further place and for a long-term home. And then last minute, it got cancelled. And I was like sitting on my packed stuff in my house in Ubud, and it's like, okay, universe, what's going on? And I observed my mind and some thoughts like, oh, is that really the right decision to go back to Uluwatu? And maybe it's not meant to be because now you're not having the house anymore. And you made like such a quick decision. Like, why did you not just like, you know, sleep over it and la 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 la. And I was like observing my mind. I was like, no. Like, no, like just shut the fuck up, you know? Like I know what I want. And I mean, I'm grateful that you are, you know, like I know you want my best. And it's okay. I really understand your thoughts, but it's just not the truth. Like I know that my path is to go there. And if I'm trusting that, it will happen. And then, you know, I was just like writing everyone. It's like, hey, you know, like I'm coming in 2 days. Do you know anything or anyone who's renting out a place? Because now in the season, tourists and everything, it's really hard to find a place here. And yes, posted in groups and whatever. And yeah, just like did everything I could to make it happen. And then I was like super fine with anything. I was like, you know, if I just like find a place where I have a roof over my head and a bed where I can sleep, I'm fine. Like I'm grateful. I just want to be in Uluwatu.
Yeah.
And then And one day, this guy reached out to me, sending me a text message saying like, "Well, Mel, how long are you looking for a place? La la. My house is free at the moment. I'm overseas for work, and if you want, you can move in." I was like, "Oh my god, wow, I got a place!" And I was like, "Yes, I'm gonna do it because I really want to be in Uluwatu." I was like, "Okay, can you please share the conditions with me?" He's like, "Yes, treating my house with respect, no parties, and a bottle of red wine on the table before you leave." And I was like, did I understand it right? Like, you don't want any money for me staying in your house? And he's like, "No, it's fine." I was like, wow, like, what a gift from the universe. And I was like, wow, thank you. Like, being in the receiving mode and just like letting myself be supported on my decision, on my heart desires, on my path. And I had no idea how the house looked. I was just like so happy to have a place, right? So I came with all my stuff to Uluwatu and just went to the address, opened the door, and it was just like one of the most beautiful houses I've ever seen. Just for myself, like with this amazing view to the ocean. Everything is new in the house. It just like recently built. Super nice wood, and oh my god, so beautiful. An amazing kitchen. I love to cook, so the universe gave it all to me, and I could stay there for fucking free. It was like, wow, because we have also this connection. Abundance is always, connected with money, but it's not true. When you embody that you are abundance, which is your natural state, it will show itself, and it's not in relation to money, as we can see. And that was really like the confirmation of, first of all, abundance is my natural state. It doesn't matter how much money I have on my bank account, because for sure I could have not paid for this. And that we deserve it all. We deserve it all because we're so worthy, And yeah, in my imagination, I was like, okay, just like a simple room. I have a bed, I have a roof, and that's fine. I'm like so grateful for that. At least I can be here. But I left space for the magic, for what is really aligned to me, because I was not controlling, I mean, I could also have just like booked myself into like this kind of room that I was imagining somewhere like in a, I don't know, homestay or whatever. But I didn't. I trusted. And then the universe like, here, have this amazing house. It just live there for fucking free. And yeah, and that was just like one of the miracles that happened after all these transformational shifts and, like believing in your manifestations before you can see them, and claiming your worth and knowing, remembering who you really are.
Yeah, this is really beautiful and so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, we can really see that indeed through your story, abundance is our natural state. And it can actually express itself the way it does in your life right now when you do like the one step towards it, when you come in alignment with yourself, listening to what your hearts desire, stop staying in the difficult stories that your mind and your whole conditioning created for you, but actually stepping up, honoring yourself and in devotion to yourself, as I call it, to really like, okay, what is the invitation for me now? For you, it was lightness. It was ease. Then you were brave enough to step out of the comfort of the suffering you were in for a long time to actually make the decision completely aligned with that desire, which meant, okay, I'm going to leave my beautiful home in Ubud, gonna go to Uluwatu. Okay, I have nothing in Uluwatu, I'm supposed to live in 2 days, but hey, I'm leaving anyway. So you were like, I trust and I keep moving forward because I can feel my heart is so aligned with that. And as you do that, you do this step towards yourself, towards the universe, then of course, resonance, universe gives you back exactly what you put out, which is divine trust, divine alignment, manifestation, abundance. And indeed, abundance is way beyond money, even if it's a part of it. It's wow. It's even beyond whatever our mind can comprehend right now. And that's super important for everyone to really, really integrate. Abundance is way beyond whatever your mind can even comprehend or imagine. Once you and we understand that point, we can actually be humbled again and stop trying to control every piece of what's happening and really keep into this position of co-creator. Like, I'm making a step towards the universe, towards myself, towards my highest timeline, and I'm letting the universe take the next step towards me and deal with the how and stuff. And we will be always so surprised by how it happens, by the miracles. Like, could your mind imagine for a single second that you have a free, incredible house with a view in Luatu? I don't think your mind could have guessed that.
No, never. Never.
Exactly. So we have to leave this space to the universe to actually surprise us with the miracles. And yeah, it's so beautiful, your whole journey. Is there anything you want to share right now about what's happening now?
Well, I mean, there was like a starting point where I could really see, wow, life was just crazy, because I was just, coming from a very dark place just recently. And I could see that, we are always thinking in times. And there's also this saying that like this quote that I just read in the morning when I like scrolled through Instagram. Good things take time. And I used to believe that. And I was like, this morning I was like laying in my bed, I was like, what kind of shit is that actually? Like, yeah, I understand what that means, like being patient and being consistent and trust in your way, because maybe things take time. But when you believe that things take time, things will fucking take time.
All the time.
And I'm like, no, this is so limiting, because we can have it now.
We can have it.
Yes. Yeah. And this is what I was like seeing, like you can turn around your life immediately, and things can happen so fast when you allow it to be fast, and if you want.
Can I actually ask you about that? Because in the concrete, how does it manifest this? Like, recently you lived an incredible moment of expansion, actually about money. Do you want to share about it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I was like basically like financial rock bottom was, was going hand in hand. Rock bottom on all levels. And I also was in a space of where I felt like, oh, my business, like how I did my business wasn't aligned anymore. And there was another purpose that I want to follow, and another things that wants to be expressed out of myself. And so I started to build my business from scratch again, new positioning and everything. I mean, I was still doing coaching all the time, and I still do, but I made like a switch from life coaching to business coaching, and supporting other light workers and amazing people who have like crazy gifts they want to share with the world, to build their online businesses. And I had the calling for such a long time already, but I was not claiming it. And when I was in Ahmed, I had this realization, oh, okay, this is what I really, really want, so I'm doing this. And so I started and went my way, and I was like still so many like fears and blah, blah, all the things coming up, like, am I good enough? Am I ready for this? And don't know how it will turn out. And starting from scratch, like how long will it take to be rewarded, and how long does it take to like let money flow through me through this. And but I just kept going, followed inspired actions, was really committed to do everything and put all my energy onto that, and being in service to love, still creating from a place of abundance to create more abundance, because it's super important what kind of energy you carry with you in your actions and what kind of intention you're setting. And yes, and I had, of course, like a financial goal of like, oh my God, when I can just, first, pay my bills and do some stuff and everything, that would be great for the start. And then I keep going and growing and stuff. And then I actually hit my financial goal 3 times.
Times 3.
Times 3, yeah.
Wow.
Times 3.
In how long? Because I remember that 2 weeks ago you had how much on your bank account?
Yeah, it was not much. And yeah, I tripled the amount in a week.
Wow.
I set a goal for like a month, and I tripled that goal in a week. And
wow. In 1 week.
Yes. And that was also like for my system, like a lot, like a lot to take in, because it was such a difference to what was just like a couple of days before, and and this is another example that just shows it can happen now. It doesn't have to take long. If you follow your heart and you claiming your worth and you are in divine co-creation with the universe, means you are taking inspired actions and letting space for the universe doing its job, and are truly able to surrender to life and your path and your purpose and what is meant for you to be, then life can become very miraculous and manifest in a way that is beyond your imagination, because our mind is so limited, because our mind just is running a program of our past experiences and our past learnings and everything. And if we want to experience something new, we need to tap in the unknown and drop everything we know, everything from the past, because the past is anyways the past. And we have just the present moment,
and commit to that
and actually really surrender to the present moment, because this is where our power lays. Where we can actually create is just in the now, with a feeling of how you would feel in your potential reality that you would like to experience in the now. And
this is so powerful. I actually, recently it comes up a lot that I need to share this information, so let's even I don't know how to say, but make it a bigger deal what you just said, that no matter what we are going through, no matter the situation, no matter the pain that is present here in this moment even, we can still choose to put our focus somewhere else, on different part of us. And we can choose to put our focus on elevated emotions, elevated thoughts. So that's how we can actually put ourselves in the energy of what we want it to be, and directly in the now. So right now, even though I do feel the pain for this or this topic, even though blah 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 blah, anything that stories that could be there still, well, you take a statement and you choose in yourself that, oh, you know what, I'm going to choose just a more elevated emotion, thought. Oh, you know what, right now I'm going to feel an elevated emotion, just a little higher than what I've been feeling lately. And doing that, you really reprogram your whole cell, your whole system to actually feel amazing, or feel ease, or feel abundance, or everything you just shared with us. And it's that easy. It's really in the now that you decide, how do I feel? What do I think? Well, how do I want to feel? What do I want to think? Well, let's just do that. It's that easy.
Yeah.
And indeed, life always responds to our frequency. So might as well choose the right one for us.
Yeah, everything is a choice. And also, at the same time, it's so important to become present with what is here, because, of course, we can choose to feel good, better, love, whatever, but we sometimes tend to escape in those feelings and avoiding the uncomfortable feelings, which will also not turn out in a good way, because then we're still, like, right. I mean, it's still underlying. So it's also surrender to the uncomfortable feelings and being okay with that, and like, not labeling it as something bad.
Yeah.
Because it is not bad. Maybe it's not so comfortable, but it's good. It's
just an experience.
It's an experience, and it's your truth in that moment.
Yeah.
And when we surrender to that and let these emotions like really flow through us, they gonna go away by themselves. And then we can choose to feel different. And then we have both. We have the human experience that comes along with all these things, and we step into our power and step into the creator of our life and choose to become what we actually feel called to.
Yeah. And it actually, lately for me, I have been experiencing those two parts at the same moment. Like, I don't need to wait to feel like shit for weeks to then choose different. No. For example, I've been through a grieving process lately of losing close souls. And through the grief and the very, very intense sadness that really shook me for 24 hours. Indeed, I was not even in my mind. I was just staring and like being in deep sadness. But after those 24 hours of the shock going, I could actually feel the grief, feel the sadness, but at the same time, my mind was focusing on the elevated thoughts about the situation and not the crazy story that my ego could have said because of whatever. And I could really see the silver lining. I could see the beauty. I could see the love of the situation within my grieving and my sadness. And I could also see that I was doing that at the same time and feeling it all. And I was very grateful, actually, because it's, again, parts of life. And it's an experience, and it's the experience of this moment, the truth of this moment. And it's all about that, not resisting, accepting fully. And when we start accepting it, then we can even go higher and like make it beautiful somehow, because there's always beauty. So yeah, there is like nothing you cannot change in this moment, for sure. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. It's very beautiful. It's so inspiring. I love to see that through your whole amazing journey, there were so many breakthroughs, and really you shared some concrete stories that happen and that actually put into reality all of that happened inside of you, because this is exactly what's happening. Whenever your inner world is changing and transforming, then the outer does the same. And with your stories, we can really see how it affects every area of your life. And I'm so happy for you that you're living right now in this deep alignment in all your life, that you're receiving all the abundance in every form that you deserve and that you now claimed. And I also, before we get murdered by this really big bug, I also wanted to mention, or to ask you if you want to mention one last part of this amazing process, because there is something that you received, the transmission that participated to all of that. And my friends here listening to us, they know about it, because I've shared many times about this. So do you want to share what it is for you and how it played a part?
Yeah, I'm grateful that you're mentioning it, because Cap is supporting me on my journey so much, and that was also going along with the decision, okay, life is going to be easy from now on. And then, the universe was showing me opportunities. Okay, look, this is how life could be more easy. And then I heard from Cap about you.
Kundalini activation.
Yeah, Kundalini activation from you. You shared your experiences, and I couldn't, of course, my mind couldn't grasp it. But I felt like a pull towards it. And I was like, well, there's nothing to lose. I would just, like try it out, because if I want to create a new reality, I have to try new things, right? And then I went to my first session, which was, and I didn't have any expectations. which is always good to have no expectations, because then you just like get surprised. And I got surprised. It had such a shift. Like after the first session, I was in this really big bliss state and felt love and like super connected to, just to the divine and with myself, of course. And then afterwards, I could experience more ease in my life. And then I could feel that, wow, this is really something that I want to continue, because it's supporting me on the way that I've chosen for myself, which is ease. And so I had my second session and everything, and I'm like so on this journey, and I can see, wow, this is in total alignment with myself. And it's so true. Like, if there's one thing that I want to point out when it comes to create a blissful life that feels so fucking amazing and aligned and it's miraculous every day, where you just feel so alive, then it's about dropping your old self completely. And for me, that was one of the hardest things I ever did because I was holding on to all that I am, all that I identified with. But it was necessary to let that go, to experience what is the truth. And that is that the universe is infinite. And there are so many things waiting for us to be experienced that are beyond everything that we know. And these things can only happen when we allow ourselves to be empty and then let ourselves be filled with life.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Wow, honestly, let's just end it here because it's perfect. That's the message that needed to come out right now. And thank you so much, Mel, for coming onto the Life is a Blessing podcast and sharing your blessed stories and blissful state with us. It's an honor, it's a pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to hosting you again here, maybe in a few months, to share even more miracles. And I'm very excited to see also what's next for you and just the continuity of this beautiful path you're on. And thank you so much.
I want to thank you for inviting me and giving me the chance to share this story. It's actually the first time that I'm sharing the story in public. So this is also feels very special to me. And and just thank you for your being and creating this podcast and, creating a space where people can drop into the magic of life. Because even if we are all on our own journey, what inspires us are stories, real stories from people. Because when we see that things are possible for other people, then we start to believing that it's also possible for us. And this is the key, that we start believing in the possibilities of life. So thank you for creating this super impactful thing. And yes,
thank you so much.
Love that.
I love you, Mel. Thank you for being here. And mwah. See you soon on this podcast.
Yes.